Hi viewers, this is Srinivasarao Gudipati, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Certified Financial Planner. I am here to present you the concept of measuring risk in mutual funds. So before going to my presentation, I request you all subscribe my YouTube channel Gudipati Srinivasarao. The real purpose of launching my YouTube channel is to provide the investor education not only for the existing investors and for the prospective investors. Now I will begin with my presentation. Just observe risk measurement in the mutual fund. Before going to that presentation of risk measurement, understand what is risk. Here, just go through the presentation. Mutual fund scheme evaluation basing on risk parameters. Now, before going to calculation of the risk, you should have an idea about what is risk. Risk in common parlance, the possibility of occurrence of loss. Or in another way we can define the risk. Risk is nothing but the occurrence of deviations in our expectations. This is also calling it as the risk. Here in mutual funds we can say the risk is nothing but the possibility of occurring the deviations we can simply take into account. By taking into account risk component of every mutual fund and the return component, then only we can finally decide which mutual fund is better to continue, which mutual fund we need to exit immediately. In my earlier presentations, I have given a clarity regarding how to calculate return and all. In this presentation, I would like to give you the clarity how to calculate the component of risk which is involving in mutual funds. With a little bit mathematical calculation and having a little expertise in Excel sheet, with our own knowledge, we can easily calculate. This presentation will help you a lot for self-evaluation relating to the mutual funds. Understand carefully the presentation components and go through the presentation once, twice, up to you are getting the things from the presentation. Then you can easily apply it with your own investments. Now, see the presentation. See, okay, we have seen the definition of risk. Now, immediate question, why we need to calculate risk? Why normally we need to calculate risk? So there are so many answers you will find out. So before going to answer the question, just go through the example. Suppose there are three mutual funds, Fund A, Fund B, Fund C. So these three mutual funds, the fetching returns are 20%, 20%, 20%. Suppose in this case, I would like to ask you the question, which mutual fund scheme is better? See, by seeing at a glance, all mutual funds seems to be the same performance. But here, the component of return only we have taken into consideration. That is the first thing. Second thing, we have not taken the component of risk. Here in this example, A may be higher risk, B may be moderate risk, C may be low risk. C we can select because C is having less risk and the good returns. So this is the case. So we need to understand the component of the risk. Here the returns must be, we are assumed annualized returns. Otherwise the decision may be differ. This 20% return on mutual fund A for 6 months. This is for 1 year. This is for 3 months. In such a case, difference will occur. So here returns means taking into account the annualized compounded returns. In my earlier presentations, I have given the clarity CAGR calculation, compounded annual growth rate. Assume all are compounded annual growth rate. In such a case, A, B, C, 20%, 20%, 20% CAGR. In such case, which fund is better? How we can give the answer for this question? Basing on the component of the risk. Let us take another example. Now, by seeing this example, Fund A, 30% return, Fund B 20% return, Fund C 10% return. Suppose these returns are CAGR, compounded annual growth rate. See, per annum, A is giving 30% return, B is giving 20% return, C is giving 10% return. Even here also, we need to calculate the amount of risk involving in each and every fund. So, by taking into account the risk and return components, then only we can go for final rankings of the mutual funds. Then we can decide which fund we need to exit, which fund we need to continue. So, we can apply the strategy. Which fund we can go for the buying. So, this is the reason why we need to measure the component of risk in every the mutual fund. So, I hope you all are getting the what is risk and all. See, for how to calculate risk. Now we understood what is risk and the requirement of calculating risk. For calculating risk, there are two methods. Normally, one is standard deviation, the another one is the beta calculation. The measure of standard deviation will give you the risk component value if the fund is non-diversified fund. Then we can apply the risk component calculation, the methodology of standard deviation. If a mutual fund is a diversified mutual fund, in such a case, you need to calculate with beta and you can understand the risk components. By taking into account these two measures, we can understand the risk component in each and every fund. Now, we can understand with the practical examples of standard deviation calculation and the beta calculation. Just go through it. So once again I repeat, standard deviation. Measures of total risk. Higher the standard deviation, higher the risk. Suppose there are three non-diversified funds. Simply we have applied a standard deviation technique. Which fund is getting higher rate of standard deviation, we can say that is more risk. So normally the less standard deviation, we can understand lesser risk. In a similar way, beta. What is beta here? Beta measures how sensitive the mutual fund returns are. Beta measures every 1% change in benchmark returns, how much is the change in the scheme returns. See, suppose there is a 1% change in market, then ultimately what is the change taken place in our mutual fund. So, I hope you are getting what is standard deviation and what is the beta. Standard deviation will calculate in which case if the fund is non-diversified. If there are three schemes, scheme A, scheme B, scheme C, if scheme A is having standard deviation 10, scheme B 5 or scheme 3, we can say 3%. So in this case, which one is more riskier we consider? The fund which is having the higher standard deviation, we consider that fund is the higher the risk. In a similar way, beta also. Beta measures the entire the risk by taking into account the capital market movement. Suppose there is a 1% change in Sensex benchmark returns. If ultimately what is the percentage of change taken place in our mutual fund? Beta will give you such kind of the risk analysis. So by taking into account standard deviation and the beta, how risk is calculated, we can see with the practical example. Now see the practical example. Here I would like to tell you how to use Excel sheets for calculating the risk. Just listen carefully. This is the situation. There is a fund, mutual fund X. See, number of months, 12 months, NAVs are given. I have given the information where you will get the NAVs. Once again, I repeat, the NAVs you will get the respective mutual fund website or an AMFI website so that you will get the results. Say NAV results. So by taking into account NAV results, month-wise or day-wise or weekly you can calculate. If the period is more, then we can calculate more accurate results. Okay, I have taken for 12 months data, here 12 months NAVs. How the standard deviation is calculated, just observe. Just open Excel sheet in your desktop or laptop. Then maintain the columns like this. Month, NAVs, monthly returns. Put the heading calculation of standard deviation. Take the data from the given question, month and NAV. See, month and NAV values are given in the question. The same values you need to copy in this Excel sheet. These two values are we have taken from the question. Now immediately you require to find out the monthly returns. How monthly returns are calculated? Just by applying a simple formula, inserting the formula in Excel sheet, you can easily calculate all months returns. See, normally in manual calculation, how we can calculate monthly returns? Suppose for second month, if you want to calculate monthly return, second month return minus immediately preceding month return divided by immediately preceding month return into 100, you will get the monthly returns. Suppose for second month means the February. If you want to calculate February month returns, so February month NAV is 10.2, January month NAV is 10, simply 10.2 minus January NAV 10 divided by January NAV 10 into 100, you will get 2%. In a similar way, other months also. For inserting the formula, simply understand, here we need to calculate monthly returns. Here already calculated values are given. Suppose before calculation, what to do? I am explaining here. Here you need to put the cursor and the type equal to and open brackets. Now for calculation of the month, which month you need to calculate? February month. So that move the cursor like this and select with left click so that Excel will take B4. B4 means Excel identify this particular cell position in a B column in a fourth row. So that Excel will take in such a way. After B4, just put minus. After that, we need to take the immediately February month. Immediate month is, see that, January. So preceding month. So January returns. So you put cursor here and left click. So automatically Excel sheet will select B3. Here B3 means first month NAV. How it is B3? In B column, third row. See, after that, close the bracket and type slash and again go move the cursor to the first month return and click with left click so that it will take B3. Close the bracket and into means here you need to type star mark and type 100. After that, enter here so that you will get the answer directly to. This is the procedure for calculating in Excel sheet. So returns. So after getting the value of monthly return one cell and select this cell like this by clicking the left click and drag like this up to 12th month period. So that you will get the values of other months monthly returns also. This is the way of calculating monthly returns by using Excel sheet. Once again, I repeat, suppose if you want to calculate March monthly returns. Normally, what is the procedure? March month NAV minus February month NAV divided by February month NAV into 100. So that here you need to take equal to, see, here if you want to calculate individually, you can calculate. Otherwise, simply you can drag like this after putting the formula. So here already the formula is inserted, so that once formula is inserted, you can drag like this, you will get the answer. So that is the reason why I would like to explain once again for month February. For February month, how to calculate? So here in empty cell, you need to select this cell simply and type equal to mark, open bracket, then immediately put your cursor in February month NAV. So click left click, select that cell, automatically Excel sheet will show you like this, B4. After that, type minus, then go to January month NAV. So select that January month NAV, Excel sheet will take into account B3 and after that close bracket and slash, it will take as a divided by, then again go to January month NAV and select that cell. Immediately Excel sheet will recognize that cell position B3 and close bracket and multiply. Multiply means type star and put 100 after that so that you will get 2. Once the 2 value you have got it, then it means the formula is already inserted. By taking into account this format, the result is 2. After getting the result, just select the cell with left click and drag continuously up to the 12th month return, so that you will get immediately all these values. This is a way of getting the return calculation with the help of standard, with the help of Excel sheet. Here, after getting the monthly returns, then standard deviation calculation. So type here standard deviation. In this cell, how to calculate standard deviation. So we will see with another table. So I hope you all are getting how to calculate monthly returns by using simply an Excel sheet. Now, standard deviation. For example, if you want to calculate here the standard deviation, see here the already calculated value is there. Before calculating, this cell is an empty cell, so that you need to put cursor here and type equal to. After that, type STDEV here. Just observe here STDEV. Excel sheet is having all functions, so that give that shortcut, it will automatically take the formula. STDEV means standard deviation. For calculation of the standard deviation, we need to select the cell for getting the answer in that particular cell. So immediately after selection of the cell and type equal to, and then type STDEV open bracket, then Excel sheet will ask you from which column to which value you need to calculate simply the standard deviation. Here we need to calculate monthly returns from the second month to and the 12th month. See, second month column position is C4, which is there in C column and 4th row. So C column 4th row to and C column 14th row, just drag like this, so that automatically Excel sheet will take C4 to C14 like this, and close the brackets. Immediately you will get, after enter, you will get the answer like this. So this is the way of calculating standard deviation. Once again, I repeat how to calculate standard deviation. Suppose if you want to get the answer here, what to do? First, type equal to. Select the cell. After that, type equal to. Then type STDEV, open bracket. Then select the cell from second month to 12th month, drag like this. Then automatically Excel sheet will take C4 to C14. Then after taking C4 to C14, close the bracket, then enter here, automatically the result will give the Excel sheet 2.997 like this. This is a way of calculating standard deviation. Here, one thing you observe, here the data is taken into account month-wise, so that standard deviation also will give you the result for month-wise. So that you need to calculate annualized standard deviation value. Here per month standard deviation 2.99. It means there is a possibility of differences or deviations in our expectation. 2.99 means almost 3%. Now, if in case of annualized standard deviation, what will be the value? We will see that. How to calculate annualized standard deviation? Just go through the another example with another table. See, the same example, standard deviation, annualized calculation. For annualized standard deviation, so first type here annualized standard deviation, then select the cell here. After selection of the cell, put equal to mark, then simply what is monthly standard deviation here? 2.997. So take 3 decimal points or 2 decimal points, 2.997 into open the bracket like this, 12 whole power 1 by 2. So that by taking into account in this way, you will get this annualized standard deviation. Simply the formula for annualized standard deviation is, see, periodic standard deviation 2.997 here, multiply with square root of number of periods in a year. Here periodic standard deviation is 2.997, multiply with square root of 12 means, in Excel sheet there is a syntax, special syntax, 12 to the power of 1 by 2. It is nothing but square root of 12 value, you will get it. After getting the square root value, multiply 2.997. Otherwise, you can directly calculate with the help of normal calculator, square root of 12, that value multiply with 2.997, directly taking into account. So, annualized standard deviation value is 10.3819. It means in a particular mutual fund scheme, there is a deviations 10.38. It means the risk component is 10.38. Suppose if we are having three schemes, scheme A 10%, we can say standard deviation annualized 10, scheme B 15, scheme C 20. In such a case, scheme C is more risky. In such a way, we need to understand the risk component in mutual funds. So, this is the final situation. So, monthly returns calculation, standard deviation calculation. After that, so annualized standard deviation calculation. So, I hope you all are getting how to calculate the standard deviation value by using Excel sheet. We will see with another example how to calculate the beta value. So, before going to calculate beta, understand what is beta first. Beta is nothing but measuring of a sensitivity of a mutual fund, the return here. Here measuring of sensitivity means if there is a 1% change in the total capital market, ultimately what is the effect on this particular mutual fund? In such a way, we need to calculate the beta value. So now here observe with a practical example how beta value will give you the results. Now another example. For beta calculation, we need to take benchmark also. Benchmark means the capital market index. We can take either Sensex or the Nifty. So here in this given example, monthly information, NAV monthly information given and Sensex monthly for the same period we need to take. So by taking into account this data, then we can go for beta calculation. So this data is purely available. NAV data, NAV values are available in respective mutual fund site or AMFI website. Here Sensex is available in Bombay Stock Exchange website. So by taking into account NAV and Sensex values, we can calculate easily the value of beta. Here the value of beta, how we can calculate? Just by using Excel sheet. Here by using Excel sheet also we can calculate beta value with a simple formula insertion. Just understand clearly and have some patience so that you can understand easily. See here in Excel sheet all kinds of financial functions are available. Just go through whenever you are having a free time in FX function column. You can understand statistical functions and the mathematical functions like different functions. In Excel sheet, self-explanatory help function is also there. By seeing that example, you can directly apply with your practical the data and you will get the results also. So with the minimum expertise with Excel, so that we can create the wonders for calculating this kind of risk, return and other parameters also. Now see this beta calculation procedure. Now after taking this data, open one Excel sheet. So month wise information, first month to 12 month, NAVs, so first month to 12th month, and after that take this Sensex. So these three columns are given in the question. So first monthly data NAV. So from this monthly data NAV, calculate monthly returns. In earlier example, I have shown how to calculate monthly returns. In a similar manner, Sensex returns also we need to calculate. After calculation of the monthly return and Sensex returns, then we can calculate directly beta. Now once again I repeat how to calculate monthly returns. For monthly returns calculation in a manual format, the formula is, say for example for second month if you want to calculate monthly returns, second month NAV minus first month NAV divided by first month NAV into 100. So that you will get this one. But here in Excel, we can give the formula for one cell so that we can select that cell and drag like this up to 12th month. You will get the rest of the month's answers also. So for that what to do? So before calculating this value, simply select the cell first and put equal to, and after that open bracket, Then go for second month cell, put the cursor here and select the cell, and after that type minus and go to first month cell, select the cell, and after that close the bracket and slash for dividing, and after that again select the first month cell. After that into means here star mark, type star mark, after that 100, then put enter. Simply we can say type, no need to type here, just click the enter, you will get the value 2 here. So after getting this value, select this cell and drag up to 12th month, you will get all monthly returns. So this is the way of calculating. Just follow the syntax here. Syntax is here for 2. How 2 is arrived? Simply equal to first open brackets, after that again bracket opening, and B4 minus B3. B4 means here the position of the cell. B4 means here second month NAV. B4 minus B3. B3 means first month NAV divided by B3 first month NAV into 100. So that in a similar way the Sensex also. In a similar way Sensex. Suppose if you want to calculate the second month Sensex return, what to do? In a similar way you need to select the cell and do that. We will see with another Excel sheet how Sensex returns are calculated. I hope here you all are getting how monthly returns are arrived. In a similar manner, a monthly Sensex returns. Just observe monthly Sensex returns. Suppose if you want to calculate second month Sensex returns, just go to second month Sensex returns column and put here equal to, and after that just select the second month Sensex value here. After selecting the cell, the syntax will be like this: D4 second month Sensex value minus D3 first month Sensex value by first month Sensex value into 100. See, the same way monthly returns calculation, here also monthly Sensex returns calculation. After getting the answer, select this cell and drag like this up to 12th month. You will get the values of all 12 months except the first month, so Sensex returns. Here I think you know that why we are not calculating for the first month returns. If you want to calculate first month returns, we need to have, so before the first month returns, so that we keep empty first month, we can go for calculation of the returns second month onwards. So once again I repeat, here the calculation of Sensex returns. So simply here if you want to calculate for second month Sensex returns, what to do? What is the syntax? First select the cell, after that type equal to, after that open bracket, select the second month cell position, D4 minus D3 bracket close, slash, it indicates divided by, after that D3 cell, and type star, after that 100 and enter. You will get the answer in this cell. After getting the answer, select the cell and drag up to 12th month, you will get the Sensex values for all the months. So this is the procedure in Excel sheet calculation of the returns. Now with another Excel sheet, how beta value is calculated, we can see that. See the beta value calculation. So type here beta, then select the cell here. Suppose if you want to get the answer here, type here equal to, and after that type with capital letters SLOPE, slope. Here we need to take both monthly returns and monthly returns of NAV and monthly returns of Sensex. So that first of all, select the monthly returns of NAV C4 to, select the C4 column like this, drag C4 to C12. See, month 12 means the 12th month is in C14 column. So no need to worry about the 14th column, 13th column, just select the cell here, second month, drag up to the last month, so that Excel sheet automatically consider this cell position is in C14. After C4 to C14, put comma, then go to Sensex returns. In Sensex returns, select the second month Sensex, automatically Excel sheet will take E4. After E4, just select the cell and drag up to the last month Sensex returns. So automatically E14 it will show that. Then close the bracket and enter. So you will get the beta value 1.734 like this. So here the beta value is 1.73. It means high risk. If there is a change in 1% in the market, there is a change in our mutual fund scheme 1.73. So this is the way of calculating standard deviation and the beta values. Now we'll see that ratios, trader ratio, Sharpe ratio. These ratios are helpful for us for ranking the mutual fund. After calculation of the standard deviation and the beta, then we can go for the ranking the mutual funds. After ranking the mutual funds, then only we can understand which mutual fund is better, which mutual fund is the best, which mutual fund performance is the worst. So basing on that, we can take the decision. So for ranking the mutual fund performance, by taking into account of risk and return, so we need to take the ratios. Ratios means here Sharpe ratio and the Treynor ratio. Just how Sharpe ratio and Treynor ratios are calculated, have a look with the practical example. Sharpe ratio. Here, Sharpe ratio measures the return earned per unit of risk. Suppose if we are accepting 1 unit of risk, ultimately what is the amount of return we are getting? So this is the main purpose of calculating Sharpe ratio. Sharpe ratio measures the return earned per unit of risk, which risk being measured by standard deviation. Here in Sharpe ratio, the risk is measured with the help of standard deviation. Whenever the risk is calculated on standard deviation base, means we can take the fund, non-diversified funds only, they will give the exact calculation results. Because standard deviation taken into account the total, the risks. Okay. So here standard deviation methodology applying in Sharpe ratio. See how we can give the rank. A higher Sharpe ratio implies a better reward for the risk taken. Suppose after applying the Sharpe ratio for 3 mutual fund schemes, the fund A having higher ratio, we can say the best one. Okay, in a similar way we can take the decision. Now formula for Sharpe ratio. Formula for Sharpe ratio is return on mutual fund minus risk-free rate of return by standard deviation of the mutual fund. Here return, how to calculate, we have seen. Here risk, standard deviation, how to calculate, we have already seen. Here another important thing is risk-free rate of return, which is directly available in the market. We can say normal saving bank returns, we can say 7%, 8% which is available, or liquid fund returns we can take, but risk-free rate of return time to time, so we can easily get it in market. So by applying that risk-free rate of return, then we can calculate the Sharpe ratio. Take the example, X mutual fund scheme returns 30%, risk-free rate of return 9%. Say for example, State Bank of India saving bank account is giving 9%. So we can consider that one as a risk-free rate of return. Annualized standard deviation 3%. In this case, the ratio is, as per the formula, return on mutual fund 30% minus risk-free rate of return 9% divided by annualized standard deviation 3, we will get 7% ratio. Here, this 7% is nothing but, we can say that for the purpose of ranking, Sharpe ratio is 7%. See, the fund having higher ratio, the fund is the safest fund we can consider. So once again I remind, the Sharpe ratio is calculated basing on standard deviation. Suppose if you want to apply Sharpe ratio for your mutual funds, those funds must be non-diversified fund. Then you will get exact results. Now we can go for Treynor ratio. Treynor ratio, here Treynor ratio is taking into account the base value of risk calculation by using beta. See, Treynor ratio, if you want to apply for your mutual funds, those funds must be a diversified fund. Then we can get the accurate results. See the Treynor ratio, what it says. Treynor ratio measures the excess return per unit of risk, with risk being measured by beta. Highest Treynor ratio superior. Here also, if there are 3 funds A, B, C, for all those 3 funds, Treynor ratio is calculated the fund which is having higher trainer ratio, we can consider that is the best fund. The fund which is getting lower trainer ratio, that is the worst fund. So in such a way we can take the decision. Now see the example. X mutual fund scheme return 28%, risk-free rate of return 7% and beta is 1.5. Now here they put the values in a formula. See, according to formula, trainer ratio formula, return on mutual fund, here 28% minus risk-free rate of return 7% divided by beta 1.5. Here the trainer ratio is 14. So in a similar way, calculate all your mutual funds, then obtain the values, then we can rank, then finally we can decide which mutual fund we need to continue, which mutual fund we want to exit. So once again, have a clear idea just how to calculate the risk. Here I have taken into account two measures. One is standard deviation, another one is the beta. The standard deviation measure, which is highly helpful for non-diversified mutual fund schemes. The second measure is the beta. How beta is measured, I have given the example with Excel sheet calculation and all. So beta measure, if you want to apply, keep it in your mind. That fund must be a diversified fund. So by calculating Sharpe ratio and trainer ratio, finally we will get the ranks. So that based on the rank, we can decide which mutual fund we can continue, which mutual fund we can withdraw. So for taking such kind of decision, this risk calculation can be helpful for you. I hope you all are getting what I have given the inputs here. If you are having any doubts, you can contact me through mail or WhatsApp. This is my WhatsApp number. Thank you so much for your patience listening. Signing out, Gudipati Srinivasa Rao. I will come up with one more video. Thank you. Bye bye.